How would you describe, Morgan, what it was like on the other night in Ottawa to clinch another series?
Yeah, it felt good. Obviously, a big game, and I thought we played well. And credit to those guys; they played outstanding all series. So, hard fought game and series. So, we'll focus on the next one.
How
Did
has
it
the
feel
mindset
different?
changed from you think the last time you faced Florida in the second round to going into this second round against them? Is there a different mindset going in?
I think so. I think it's always different. They have different people over there. We have different people in here. So I think the playoff mindset in general remains the same, but I think that there's differences with both teams and with structure and systems and whatnot. But the focus here over the next couple of days is going to be on us and doing what we need to do to get ready to play.
The win against Tampa a couple years ago, it felt really like raw and emotional because you were getting over the hump. I'm just wondering how different it may feel this time.
I think it is a bit different, but equally as important. And I mean, if you look at that series, look at this past series. On paper, there's no different. You're doing what you came to do, and you move on. But inside of that, there's always going to be little differences. But I think for our group, we're happy with our result. But we're going to focus on what's to come and try to get ready for that.
What's the best defense working against Panthers forecheck that you know is going to come all the time?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to talk about that. Obviously, that's a big part of their game. They're hard on pucks and they're DR aggressive. So, that's what we're here to do. We got 2 days to kind of meet and talk about structure and systems, and then get ready to go. So it's important that everyone's dialed in for the next couple of days, and it's a really fun time of year to be here and to be talking about this kind of stuff. So we're excited.
Ottawa scored a few goals on deflections. Guys going to that sort of thing is the way you get if Florida's coming it that way as well to kind of combat that.
Well, I think if you look at the playoffs in general, there's been a lot of those goals that are being deflected either off tips or off the other team. So there's been lots of traffic at both net fronts, and so that'll continue to be the case. So we're going to have to focus on that area for sure.
Morgan, heading into this Florida series, how beneficial is it to have those three guys in Stevie, Oliel, and Stoli on this roster, knowing that team so well and having made it to the finish with the roster?
Yeah, I think that could help us for sure. Obviously, there's differences in both teams, in every team year after year. So, but we'll take any advantage we can get. Obviously, those guys playing over there might offer some insight, but it's important that we take these next couple of days, get focused, and get dialed in on structure, and just get ready to play.
The group of
Saying
players
that he was
that
going to pick his brother's brain about like you guys. Is there any advantage he can glean from that? Matthew Tkachuk, like.
I don't know. I don't. It's hard to say. I'm sure that there'll be some kind of advantage, but we're going to watch, all their games. They're going to watch all our games, but it'll come down to preparation, work ethic, commitment, and competitiveness, all that stuff, and that's the beautiful thing about playoff
for the
hockey.
group of guys that were here.
Series a couple years ago against Florida, the start of it. What was your takeaway? Like, what can you learn from the way that last series against Florida 2 years ago started?
Well, we lost the first two or first three, but the first two at home. So we'll look to improve on that.
Was there
For the
anything
group-
missing? Like, was there trouble like refocusing after the first round? Like, as you reflect on it.
I don't think so, but certainly we're going to look at everything. We're not going to leave any stone unturned. And if you look at that series going down early is not what you want, and so obviously we'll look to improve on that.
For the group of guys that were here 2 years ago, is there any residual bitterness left over from what happened in that playoff series?
You mean just losing the series?
Losing the series, I know there were some moments in that series that got kind of chippy. And
Oh, well, I think that's any series, and I think whenever you lose a playoff series, there's going to be a little bit of residual emotion left over, and I don't think that's any different for any other team that would be going up against someone that they lost to the year or 2 years prior. So for us, we're going to focus in, and we're not going to draw from 2 years ago, but we're going to prepare and just get ready to go.
Did finishing number one in the Atlantic during the regular season maybe give a little bit more confidence heading into this matchup this time around?
I don't think so. It's playoffs. It's pretty even all around. every team has an opportunity to win, and it's it's not easy. So we're going to focus in, and we're not worried about the standings for the regular season.
You guys have a lot of composure. We've seen that. How much more key will that be with Kachuk, Bennett, and Marchand coming at you guys?
Yeah, I think it's important for both teams to have composure at times. It gets heated, it gets emotional. So being able to maintain composure is important. And so we'll have moments in the series where I think we're going to need that. Then we're going to have moments where we're going to have to really dig in and play with some emotion and some urgency and whatnot. So you got to reach both ends of it, and hopefully we're able to do that. And we're certainly going to be well prepared.
Bobby, how do you approach the series against Florida in terms of what you're expecting that they're going to throw at you guys?
I think we learned in that series that there can be some adversity thrown at you at any point in the series. And knowing that they're going to come hard, they're going to come fast, be physical. I think we want to try and stick to our game as best we can, and that's playing fast, trying to get pucks up the ice as fast as we can, so we spend less time in D zone. And if we can do that, I think we'll have success.
They've got three guys that play real high in their lineup, in Marchand, Bennett, and Kachuk, who not only are great players, but they all excel at the game within the game, so to speak. How do you make sure that you don't allow them to have success in that area by getting you guys away from the way you want to play?
Yeah, I think it's just not engaging, trusting that we're going to be able to win this one 5-on-5. If we can play as much of that as we can, we don't need to be going back and forth with penalties, playing 4-on-4, whatever it is. So I think we're just trying to trust that our abilities are going to take over, and when we have the puck, and they'll maybe be taking penalties on us.
Bobby, what stood out about the way this team was able to close out that series against Ottawa?
Yeah, I think it's never easy to close a team out, and that's what guys have said, and that's what we've learned. That it's just the team's going to give you everything they have. So it's knowing that if you do have an opportunity to do it, you want to close it out as best you can every game when they're independent of the next, because those wins stack up real quick. So it's just trusting that our team has the ability to take on any team in any form of adversity like that.
Can home ice advantage make a difference in a series? I mean, obviously it's going to be a tight series. I mean, how big of a difference can that be?
Yeah, I think it helps. I think definitely when you get the crowd into it, and they're into it early, we can feed off that energy. That's something that definitely has an impact. And then the familiarity of being at the same rink, you have all your resources, you just have a little bit more things there. We've obviously been a good road team as well, but yeah, it's nice to be home and feel that energy of the city.
Do you think there's a little extra benefit having three guys who are on the other side of the ice, in Stoli, OEL, and Stevie, heading into the series against Florida?
Yeah, I think so. I think leaving the rink, I think I was just talking with Stoli after we won the last game in Ottawa. He's just talking about the style of play that they have, and those little things that you just pick up on and just kind of recognize their tendencies that he's seen over the last little while. It definitely is going to help, and hopefully can help give guys some more direction.
What do you think this matchup will mean for Anthony going up against the guy who he backed up last year and said throughout the year he's learned a lot from?
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool for him, especially at this point in his game when he's playing so well. It's a good time for him to be up against him, and I think he's just playing right now. I don't think there's any pressure. He's just stopping pucks and doing a great job at it.
How much does it help that you played them 2 or 3 times down the stretch, and how much film have you seen in the last day or so?
Yeah.
Maybe today, I guess you're off yesterday.
Yeah, pretty familiar with them. Definitely get a sense that they're a hard team to play against, and we got to be ready. So it's definitely nice that we've seen them a few times and are going to be ready for that.
That was quite the block by Lawton at the end of the game. Did it take a bite out of him? Like, was there any sort of follow-up from that in terms of an injury scare?
No, he's good. He's all good, and that's the type of things you need in the playoffs. And great block by him. Just putting his body on the line, but that's what you need.
Has he started to show his importance in these playoffs?
Oh, definitely. I think even before the playoffs, he was. I feel like he got comfortable, got some chemistry. It takes time sometimes with guys. When you make trades, it doesn't happen overnight. With other people, it does, but you never know. But yeah, he's definitely a big part of our success and our team.
When you have 3 guys, as you do, from the championship team on your roster, is there any sort of intelligence advantage that they can offer you at this point, like OEL and Lawrence and the goalie?
Yeah, I've had discussions with him. There is things that, you might not know, or more mindset stuff for me with those guys, being in a locker room and being around the organization and the team. So, yeah, I have discussions with them about stuff.
Brady or Matthew was saying he's going to talk to his brother to get some insight. Is there any advantage he can gain from talking to him? Brady Tkachuk is going to talk to Matthew Tkachuk about insight on the Leafs. Is there any advantage that can be gained from a conversation like that regarding what buttons to push, who might be banged up, all that?
Well, if you allow people to push your buttons, then maybe. Don't allow them to push your buttons. That's the way I look at it. You can control what you want to control. Again, emotion plays a big part of the game. We all know that, and discipline and composure. And, we got through one round, and it's got to be more elevated now.
Well, speaking of that, you've got three guys on the other side, and Bennett, Tkachuk, and Marchand, as you said, that are going to try to push those buttons. Do you have to escalate that kind of turn the other cheek going in here?
You got to play hard between the whistles. I think that's what you got to focus on. I really do. Now, you got to protect your net. You got to do your job. There's always scenarios and different scenarios that come up, but we want to play hard between the whistles. We got to be physical. We got to match your physicality, and we got to be disciplined.
How are you elevating in the second round? It's from round to round. And what's your sense of the group coming off that win, and what's the key now?
Business, ready to go for the second round. That's my feel. Yeah.
Craig, what do you think of this opportunity for Anthony getting to face off against his former team that he mostly backed up for, now playing the biggest hockey of his career so far?
Oh, he's deserved it. I think he's shown that down the stretch in the first round, so he's earned that.
What's the key on their forecheck? Any adjustments you have to make, you think, to stop one of the better forechecks in the league or defending?
Well, they're a very good forechecking team. That's their MO. They're going to put pucks in deep, and they're going to go to work with numbers. Very aggressive. It's obviously we got to, we're going to talk about a game plan and things like that, but it basically really is going to boil down to 5 guys working to help out against their forecheck, and getting numbers in there and battling pucks out, and that's what it really boils down to. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a grind. You can talk all the X's and O's you want, and there's things that we're going to do to try to nullify their forecheck, but in the end, they're going to forecheck, and they're going to get there. So we got to battle it out. You got to have numbers in there, and you got to work together, and it's going to be a grind.
How advantageous?
There's a feeling that this series is going to be a bit nastier than the Ottawa series that you saw. They hit on Hagel and Gensel, and just the way they play hockey. How comfortable are you with the group you have that they're ready for that kind of battle? I'm very comfortable. I don't feel worried about it at all. I mean, our teams, they're ready for it. They understand it, and listen, that's playoffs. You gotta, it's going to be hard, and there's going to be hits, and you got to get up and play, and you got to be disciplined. I'm going to keep talking about it.
McMann was your one rookie in terms of the real rookie in the playoffs. What do you make of how he kind of navigated the first round?
His game got better as it went along, and maybe his best game was the final game.
What did he do well?
Well, his speed, his skated and physical, and just on things. He's an exceptional skater and has great speed, and he's starting to understand, in my mind, the power forward, the physicality and banging bodies and creating space for people. He's really starting to grasp that, in my opinion, or he did during that series.
The other night you guys were satisfied, it felt like, but not too crazy in terms of celebrating that win. I mean, how does an NHL team decide where the right level of celebration is after closing out a round?
I don't know about satisfied. I mean, we're happy we won. You're supposed to be happy you won. It's not easy to win a series, and the guys should be happy they won the series. But now we're moved on, and we got to get prepared for Florida, and it's going to be probably a harder series even. And I think our guys
like I said, it's business. You know, we won the series. We're past that now, and we're starting to focus on Florida and get prepared for Florida.
How advantageous to have an extra day off?
Yeah, it was good. I thought our guys could use it. You know, so I think that extra day was good for our guys. You know, a lot of guys have logged a lot of heavy minutes. You know, like every team.
With home ice, you've got the advantage of last change.
Yeah.
Is Paul a line matcher, or is he more like, here's four, just throw out four lines and let them play?
No, Paul matches, and you know, Barkov's their guy. Like, you know, but you know, they got a luxury of having the Lundell line, which is Lundell's an exceptional two-way centerman in the National Hockey League. So he's not Paul's not going to be worried or shy to get him out against our guys. So.